Alright, so I'm doing like a double screen capture here. I only have the option to show one at a time. So up here in the corner, you're going to see some stuff from the second screen. Bring it right over here so you can tell. That's the second screen stuff up there in the corner. I'm going to basically show you my process. All these bits here, I have basically cut out of the 30-minute or so interview. And I basically just go from beginning to end and I find all the good parts. You know, if they do a few different takes, I go through and find the right one of each one, and then I just delete everything else. So before I really get into the actual edit, I'm going to show you just Premiere and how I set things up. Usually how I would start building one of these. Let me find one I never use. I never use libraries, so we can do it from that. Basically what I'll do is close all the panels. Apparently I have to do this one by one. I just like to get rid of anything like this. So we're at square one here. Alright, so this is just my main screen. It's always going to have your program and your timeline. Your program is basically the actual video of what's playing on the timeline. Then you get your tools here, your audio here, and you can grab between any two boxes like this and readjust. So I always make that as thin as it'll go while still having numbers. So depending on what I'm doing, like there's different buttons up at the top here for different parts of the process. Assembly, I'll show you here. I have it set up so that this whole left side is basically my browser, so I can search through everything on my computer. Right side is the actual project where I'm dumping stuff from here to there. And then at the bottom is just in case. I just have like effects, info, tells you stuff about it, metadata. Don't really use this, but every now and then I'll be in the wrong window and I just want to get something done real quick, so I have to keep the effects down here. You'll see on the small window up in the top corner, when I'm in dual screen mode here, I just keep the main video playing here and then the timeline here. When I'm assembling, I sometimes use these. It's usually just about getting it all into the project. I don't really cut things up very often from here. Usually what I'll do is I'll start from my editing window, and then here, very similar kind of setup. I like to keep the media browser and my current folders for this project. So that's all my stuff for this project. The media browser, the rest of this stuff I don't even use. I don't really know why it's there. Get rid of it, honestly. I like to keep info just in case. Helps me know if I'm working with certain file types. And then over here, I like to have it pretty wide, so I have it split right down the middle. So I have enough space here to kind of see what's in there for when I go to drag them and bring them up to the timeline. Over here, the reason I have it wider like this, even though it's only taking up this much for effects, is because once I select an effect and I go to Effect Controls and they show up here, sometimes when you're automating them across an entire clip, making it go in and out or whatever, it's going to create like a line right here that lets you choose your waypoints, basically. So I just like to have some room to be able to do that there. Right now I'm going to start a brand new sequence. I have these 4 videos that I'm doing for Taryn and Amber. It's 2 for each. For Taryn, I have 2 sequences already made. So if I just double click on that, it's going to pop right up. This is the one that I've already done. Basically finished on this one. I'm going to give you a brief breakdown of how I usually line things up. So right here is all music, the bottom of the audio. You'll see right here there's this dividing line. That's basically your video versus audio. So right now it's showing me the audio stuff here. Videos above that line. So you can just kind of choose which one you want to see more of. If you double click inside one of these panes, it'll expand it or shrink it. So now I can get my audio kind of hidden away down there, and I can expand all my video tracks. So yeah, so usually I put music on the very bottom, and then the actual dialogue audio right here at the top of the audio section. The reason that works out that way is that these 2 files here are from the same thing, because I went straight into the camera. So this is my Canon footage, and that's the audio that was recorded with the Canon. So they're always going to be paired right next to each other. At this point I've already unlinked them, so you can move it freely without the audio affecting it. So what I've got here is music, dialogue, Canon, Sony, And then these ones right here are hidden. I have the eyeball checked off. The reason those are hidden is this is actually the Sony footage that matches the one below it. Instead of, because this is one full clip and I've decided not to use the Sony at all, I hide it up here with the eyeball thing, so that I still have it. Because if I were to just go like this and say I don't want any of this Sony footage and I just delete it, now I don't have it anywhere. So if I change my mind, I can't go back and get it. I'd have to literally resync everything. So that's why I just keep it in the file, but I just make it hidden so I don't even notice it's there. I just keep that tucked away and hidden once I figured out what I'm keeping and not keeping. All these other gaps where there aren't any brown files, that's because I've used some of it within the clip. So you can see it ended here. But because I'm still sharing some of the clip together, it doesn't go up here. And then above that kind of hidden row, I put all my B-roll stuff. So this is all B-roll. These are just overlaid on top of things. Sometimes it's directly over the video footage. Sometimes it's over an empty space, right, like right here.
The first time you take a bad procedure and you turn it into something where she can look in the mirror and now she's happy with what she sees, it's profound. Hi, my name is Taryn and welcome to my Lift Pigment Removal course. Why don't you come on inside with me and let me give you a sneak preview of everything you're going to learn and gain with this course. People ask me all the time, why do you like doing removals? It's a long process.
Nice,
it can
right?
be stressful.
Like
sometimes we don't always get the result we're looking for.
So a few things, I'm sure you probably know some of this. Big thing that kind of really differentiates amateurs from pros is it's super simple, but people who don't know about it don't do it, and it doesn't feel good when you watch a video. But it's J cuts and L cuts. So basically what that is so you see the audio's here. I mean the B-roll is right here, and then the video starts here. This you're not even seeing. Realistically I could delete this, but I don't know if I'll need it later. So this starts here, and then the next video of her talking starts right after that. So you can see
it can be stressful. Sometimes we don't always get the...
But the audio is way back here. It's already got audio going, and then the video comes in here. So literally it's creating a J shape. Starts from the left, goes all the way to the right, and up. Makes the shape of a J. If you just look at these 3 clips. So that's a J cut, which means the audio comes in before the video that's synced to it comes in. And then the L cut is the exact opposite thing. I don't know if I have one right here. But that's basically when the video is going and then it switches to a new scene. So like here we switch to something new and the audio keeps going underneath it. So you end up with this L-shaped kind of thing. So J and L cuts, huge thing. That's kind of what makes an edit flow, is figuring out the timing of that. And then of course on the side of that, because I'm a musician, everything is kind of to the beat. So like down here I use automation. So every audio file automatically has a line on it, which is for just the volume of it. I've taken the entire file down really low so that I could hear the voice on top of it. I got it down to -25. And then for the bits where there's no voice, I've bumped it up to like about 11. I'm just going to stretch this out so you can see it. Yeah, so basically I bring the entire audio file down to a level where I can hear both the talking and the music. And then I set little points on the in and out so it gets louder and quieter. So like here.
And let me give you a sneak preview of everything you're going to learn and gain with this course.
That's louder. But realistically that could go higher. I'm probably going to do it more around 11-ish. So you really notice a difference. It's going to kind of punch in right when she's done talking.
Everything you're going to learn and gain with this course. People ask me all the time, why do you like doing removals? It's a long process. It can be stressful. Sometimes
it's really good. It just kind of keeps the momentum up. You feel the music the entire time, but it doesn't interfere with the voice. And then another thing I do, once I start organizing, I like to color code everything. So once I know all the clips I have and I have them all lined up, whether they're in the right order or not, once I've kind of picked all the pieces, I like to color code everything, and all you have to do that is you highlight whatever you want to color code, right click on it, go to label, and pick a color. Alright, so now I'm going to go kind of show you my actual process of starting an edit, where I kind of begin and how I chop things up before I even get there. Anytime that you create a new timeline or you add a clip up here, it's going to create a brand new sequence, and it's going to usually copy whatever parameters or settings that clip already had, which is preferred. So like if I shot in 4K, it's going to bring up a 4K sequence so that everything that goes in here is relative to a 4K sequence. I'm going to go to Amber. It's our other person. I got them separated, so I have the first video, second video. And when I go in here, we've just got 4 simple clips, 2 for Canon, 2 for Sony. Canon has the audio, so I'm always going to start with the Canon. I'm literally just going to grab both of them, highlight them, click, drag to the timeline. Boom, sets it up for you. It automatically puts one on separate audio, one on the top for the video. You'll see it added a new thing here. Based on the name of the first clip, it created this. This is a sequence file. That's why it has this little blue thing here. That's basically this entire tab. So if I X this out accidentally or anything, I can just double click on this. It's going to open back up. So I'm actually going to rename that so I know that. I do an X, and then I put in the name. Amber 1, this is first video. The reason I do the X is because I always come here and I organize everything by name, because otherwise it's just going to keep moving them based on the last one used. So I do it by name. So now it's going to have, I've got my Sony files listed with A because it's the A camera, Canon files listed with B because it's the B camera. And then I do the X before Amber, so it always comes at the very end, so I don't confuse it as a video file because they look the same. It's just this little indicator. So I know that the one with the X, the one that's at the very end, is going to be the sequence file, not the video file. And actually at this point, I'm going to literally take this, do cut, it's going to remove it from here, and I go up a folder, and I'm going to leave it in here so that it's totally separated and I don't get it confused. Now it's there. And I can even start the second one same exact way. I'll go into 2. We've got order. Alright, it's all listed by name. So this one we've got, what does it look like? 3 or 4 clips each. I'm going to grab the Canon ones because I know the Canon has better settings than the Sony. Drag those in. Now I've got another sequence, which is right here. Got to pay attention to those. So that's the sequence. So I'm going to rename this one X Amber 2, and then I'm going to cut that and move it to here. So now we've got 2 different sequences. I click this one, first one comes up, click that one, second one comes up. I can keep them both up if I want. This is really useful when I'm sharing content, which I will be. So I'm actually going to go back to, let's see here. Where is it? I'm going to go to Terran's, and I'm actually going to take her first one, actually the second one, double click on that. So now I have this one open. It's kind of my reference because I've already done this edit and I want all 4 videos to be very similar in the way that they're structured, and we're sharing the same music and the same intro. So I'm going to open up that sequence, keep it on the back here, but I'm going to be working inside of this one. So the very, very first thing I'm going to do before I get anywhere with this is select everything in here. Just move it over a bit, get it out of my way. Alright, and then we're going to go to the Terran one, and I know I want this entire piece. I'm literally just going to copy. Go in here, make sure I'm at the front. Control V. But you can see it's right there. Because this is a music file attached to it, there's no dialogue, I'm going to drag that down. They'll stay linked together, it's just creating a gap for the other audio. I'm actually going to drag down one extra because once I add the Sony, it's going to have its own audio too, which I'll later delete. A little thing to note that these buttons here, this is V1 and A1, it's for video and audio. It's a weird thing. It gets tricky sometimes. It's kind of confusing because there's 2 sections of it. But basically, whatever's highlighted is an active track that's going to let you put something on there. If I click these and I turned them all off, I wouldn't be able to put anything there. It wouldn't allow it. If I just got rid of video and I left the A1, it would only bring the audio over when I drag it in. because there's nowhere for the video file to go because that's off. So my B cam is my Canon. A is the Sony. We haven't put the Sony in yet. I'm going to put it up right here. And you can see it's going to automatically kind of separate them as I go up and down. So that way they don't overlap. So I can put it right here and it's going to be totally separate. Because it was just me, they didn't both start recording at the exact same time. They're off by a little bit. So we do have to sync them. There's a couple ways to do that. So these are our bigger files. At this point, I'm going to double click on the audio so I can see it better. And usually what I'll try to do is see if I can catch any similarities and try to line it up by eye. So you'll see right here I'm seeing a lot of similarities. These spikes look the same. Some of these spikes right here, and then I can definitely see these 3 little bumps. Definitely identical. So this is my Canon, this is my Sony. The footage and the audio are currently linked to each camera, so there's no worries about moving stuff. Can move either one of them. Just gonna match them up. Usually what I'll do is whichever one is my source. So let's say this highlighted one will be my source. I'm gonna just put the playhead there so I kind of have a line, and then I'm gonna grab from exactly where I think that line should be on this one, click and drag it over and stop right on that line. And there you go. It's not gonna be dead perfect because of like the actual science behind how it's filming. The time code might be slightly off, and you can see that it's just like a hair off. It doesn't quite match up. Realistically, it shouldn't be a problem. That's mostly just to get our video in line, and it's okay if the video's a hair off. No one's ever going to notice that. So if I just mute this one, which is my Sony audio, I know it's the Sony audio because I used the microphone for the Canon, and you can see all these parts are me talking, so it's super quiet. And then when she talks, it's louder because the mic was near her. But on these ones, I was next to the Sony camera, so it's picking up both our voices about the same volume. So I don't want that. That's bad audio. Show you the difference there. This is the Sony audio.
Oh, really good with was winged eyeliner. That's what I would say.
So tell just a little bit about your actual story.
If we
Because that is true.
switch to the
And then
microphone,
we got into why you decided
you barely hear that. You're only going to hear them talking. Like
5 years ago, believe it or not.
And then back to Sony audio.
5 years ago, believe it or not, when I was coming into my own.
And now you get that really bad audio because the microphone is so far away that it's picking up her voice bouncing off the walls and stuff for the Sony. So we're literally just going to get rid of that. So all I have to do is right click, do unlink. So now it's detached from the video file up here, which is A. A is my Sony. I can literally just highlight the audio, hit delete, it's gone. We've got that first one synced up, and then what I like to do just to make sure that I don't lose the sync is, I know that this is all garbage here,
I already knew.
so I'm just going to highlight them, hit C on the keyboard, brings up this razor tool, and cut it. Now I know that they have the exact same edge, so if they fall out of place, I'll be able to easily line them back up. And do the same on this end of it. C for the cut tool. I'm just going to line that up. Hit V to get out of it. So C for cut, V brings you back to the pointer. They're right next to each other on the keyboard. All right, and then if you hold Alt and scroll, that zooms in and out. So with this clip, we can do the same thing we did before, but as you can see, there's a lot more chatter here. Clearly we were talking with her back and forth, and a lot harder to distinguish what matches with what.
In addition to all that, you're going to get a handout, client forms, as well as aftercare, training
You can tell that they're a
certificate.
bit off. You can hear it.
All that, you're going to get a handout, client forms, as well as aftercare, as well.
This actually might be the wrong take.
In addition to all that, you're going to get a handout, client forms, aftercare, as well as a training certificate.
So she goes all the way to saying training certificate.
All that, you're going to get a handout, client forms, aftercare, as well as a training certificate.
So that's the one. I just had it in the wrong spot. So I'm going to put that right there. There we go. That looks better. All right. So anyway, even though these are the correct takes now, they're still not going to be perfect.
In addition to all that, you're going to get a handout, client forms, aftercare, as well as a training certificate.
So the picture isn't bad. The lips still line up pretty well. No one's going to really notice. But just to show you an example of what Adobe can actually do, if I actually just highlight the two audio files, if they're close enough to each other, that it can actually figure it out on its own. I'm going to separate them a little bit so now you can hear.
In addition to all that, you're going to get a handout.
Like they're very far off, but they're close enough together that you can tell they belong together. The clap will usually work best here because it'll find two super loud spikes. But this will still work, I think. If I just highlight both, hold shift and grab them. Let's see what I'm doing. And then right click and hit synchronize. And then audio, track 1. That means it's going to take whatever's on track 1 and move the other one to fit it. All right, there you go. And that did a much better job than what I was doing. Because of the limitations of the software and the way that things are recorded, each one of these little ones is a frame. And although the camera is filming the video frame by frame, 24 frames within 1 second, the audio is running at a totally different kind of speed. This is why sometimes things will fall off. If you record for like an hour straight, the audio will actually slow down or speed up compared to the video, and it doesn't match all the time. The math of it doesn't work out. The audio isn't recording at 24 frames because it doesn't record in frames. Because the audio doesn't record at the same rate as the video does exactly, when you're trying to line it up manually, it'll just keep wanting to snap to a frame, so it might snap right here instead of here. So doing the sync will make sure it's dead on. And then just delete the audio for that one. Yeah, so I'm going to do the same thing as before. Just going to cut. That'll just give me a clean line to work with so I don't lose it. Alright, so now I have my 2 main chunks of video. I'm just going to stick them right up against each other because there was a small couple-minute gap between them. I'm just going to kind of play through it and kind of skip around and find the parts that I absolutely hate or like.
Okay.
I know the very beginning is a lot of just trial and error, and she didn't really get a lot done, so I'm probably going to bounce through it real quick.
Do a sentence at a time.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll be able to.
And I'm basically just looking
Hey guys,
for
my
these
name's
louder
Amber. Welcome
blips,
to my wing eyeliner course.
because I know she's talking for those.
Watch a sneak peek. I like the way. Watch a sneak peek to see why this course would be beneficial to you.
Okay, so that seems like it might be a decent take for her. Unfortunately, none of them were really good on this
Hey
one.
guys, my name's Amber. Welcome to my wing eyeliner course. Watch a sneak peek.
Okay, so I'm just highlighting everything, and then you can either drag or you can cut. For the first one, I just drag, because I don't need anything from before that.
To see why this course would be beneficial to you.
And then spacebar makes it play and stop. So I stop it the second she's done talking, and I can see that she's done. Hit C, chop that, keep going.
Peak.
Hang out, good coffee.
I think this might be another retake.
Hey guys, my name's Amber. Welcome to my wing eyeliner course. Why don't you hang out, get comfy, and... Nope.
Oh, that one's trash. So we can move up to the next louder blips. Try up here.
Hey guys, it's Amber, or you might know me as Miss Amber Red on Instagram. See?
Oh, that was good though.
Yeah, that's good. We can easily cut that.
Why don't you sit back, get comfy, and take a sneak peek at my upcoming... No. Why don't you sit back, get comfy, and watch the sneak peek of my wing eyeliner course. You get comfortable. Why don't you sit back, get comfy, and watch a sneak peek of my wing eye... Why don't you sit back, get comfy...
So nervous.
Right there, though. We have
I kept literally like shaking and telling her to like wiggle her
Why
body.
don't you
to
sit
loosen
back,
up.
get comfy, and watch a sneak peek of my wing eyeliner course.
See that? So much better just because I got her laughing. I'm learning from you, man. Just gotta get them laughing.
Why don't you sit back, get comfy, and watch a sneak peek of my wing eyeliner course.
Okay, so that's a good take. I don't remember what was before it, so I'm gonna go back.
boom. There being an actual.
Why don't you sit back, get comfy, and take a sneak peek at... Hey guys, it's Amber, or you might know me as Miss Amber Red on Instagram.
I think that's where she wants to keep that, because she didn't say Miss Amber Red on here.
Watch a sneak peek to see why this course would be beneficial. Hey guys, my name's Amber. Welcome to my wing eyeliner course. Watch a sneak peek to see why this course would be beneficial.
Okay, so I know that this is all trash. This is her intro, and I think that's like the second half of her intro. trying to keep these parts together.
Hey guys, it's Amber, or you might know me as Miss Amber Red on Instagram. Why don't you sit back, get comfy, and watch a sneak peek of my wing eyeliner course.
Yeah, so that's all one statement. She just did it in 2 takes. So I want to keep those kind of close together. And I'm basically just going to pull them away from the pack. And I want to kind of keep them way down towards the start. Because I did film this somewhat in order. I wrote down the actual structure of the VBC and then mostly stuck to that structure. So most of it will be in order as I edit, which is the big reason why I was able to edit Steve's VBC in like a day, couple hours, because we had everything planned out shooting that it was so easy. I could just go through it like this from left to right and find all the bits I needed. Two separate thoughts. They're basically the same. Put it together for one take. See how that flows. Yeah, so again, the reason we have 2 cameras is because it needs to sound good. We can always move the camera around and get it looking better. But I want the voice to sound like it's one thing. So like even if you just hide the video and do it this way, it works.
Also in this course, you'll watch me do a full wing eyeliner procedure from start to finish, and you'll feel like you're right here with me.
See, that sounds like one take. It's perfect. But then you watch it and it's clearly not.
Finish, and you'll feel like you're right here with me.
So we're going to take this one here.
And do you think this course will really help you? Then click the button below.
So I made sure to tell her to start that with and. So and 2 words you can always start something with to help you interject it So here it's basically just going to replace this little spot.
Up your game, then I think my course will really help you.
So I can literally just bring that back. And then bring this one in its place. And it should flow. The audio should work out here.
If you're struggling with wing eyeliner, or even just want to up your game, and you think this course will really help you, then click the button below.
Yeah, not bad. So intro, B-roll, hidden layer, Sony, Canon. Next step would be just to add the music so that I have something to kind of work around. I've got that over here. I think for the most part we've been just kind of butting them up with each other like this. So you get a nice little gap between the intro song and the main song. Totally different speed. So you gotta have a little bit of a gap so they don't feel weird. You see how loud that is? That is just too loud. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this off. Kind of start it there, and then I'm gonna bring this down. I think it was around 25. That should be good. And then what I like to do for the very beginning is I give myself just a little cushion for the music to be loud and to have some B-roll while there's like a hook being talked. So I usually will come up with just the actual music loud cushion area. That's usually about where I stop it, just based on this song, the feel of it. So I can hold control and click on that line. It adds a little node, and I can do another one here. And now these two are individual, and if I move this, it's going to cause like a slope. See that? So I'm going to move this one up. It's about 11. Now it's going to be just loud enough that it's not overpowering, but it's loud enough to know that there's like realistic music there. And then right around here is where I'm going to start adding in her vocals talking. So now by the time it starts the next beat, so you get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So right on 1 is where I'm going to kind of have the dialogue come in. So that gave us that room to do a little bit of a hook in the beginning.
Hey guys, it's
The only thing she really has is she mentions the 5-year thing, but I don't really want to put a set number.
5 years ago, believe it or not, when I was coming into my own, wing eyeliner was the first procedure that I mastered.
So I know that right after this moment, she started talking about, she like repeated it. She said winged eyeliner and then something about brows. So I'm going to see if there's anything. So every time you make one of these cuts in a clip, it becomes the entire clip. So this is the same as this, is the same as this. It's just showing us a different segment of it. So I can always drag out to find the rest that was there before. If there was something I think I'm missing. Just going to make some space for it and I can do it.
For most people, it's eyebrows. For me, it was winged eyeliner.
So although I don't like that she's redundant in saying winged eyeliner twice in one sentence, I do feel like it's necessary.
When I was coming into my own, wing eyeliner was the first procedure that I mastered.
I think I'm going to use this as her hook in the intro, because it's really the only thing that isn't specific to the course.
5 years ago, believe it or not, when I was...
So I'm just going to go with believe it or not.
5 years ago...
Get rid of the 5 years. We don't need that.
Believe it or not, when I was coming into my own, wing eyeliner was the first procedure... Oh, believe it or not... Oh, believe it or not... Believe it or not, when I was coming into my own, wing eyeliner was the first procedure that I mastered. For most people, it's eyebrows. For me, it was winged eyeliner.
Anyway, this is how I start things out. It's how I break it down. As far as like going back and forth between clips, super easy.
Hey guys, it's Amber, or you might know me as Miss Amber Red on Instagram. Why don't you sit back, get comfy, and watch a sneak peek of my wing eyeliner course.
I either do that, or if I want it within, I can just cut one of them. Do this if I really want to.
Hey guys, it's Amber, or you might know me as Miss Amber Red on Instagram.
Just an example, but that's how I do things. And goodbye.